It began as an idea. Take a viral video and refine it into a new combat sport. Many said it could not be done, but we believed in the process. From humble beginnings, we grew, writing and refining the rules, hosting amateur events in bars and nightclubs, and developing the sport of slapping. During the pandemic, we were forced to produce our events in undisclosed locations. Warehouses, abandoned buildings, and empty event centers hosted SlapFIGHT Championship while millions of fans watched online. As the fan base grew, SlapFIGHT began hosting pay-per-view events and broadcasting internationally, spreading the sport to over 100 countries worldwide, continuing to build an audience for SlapFIGHT Championship. Now we have arrived, and we are no longer competing in undisclosed locations. After receiving over 1 billion viral views and hosting more events than all other slap organizations combined, we have become the top slap fighting promotion on the planet. With our loyal fan base in tow, we now embark on a new era in combat sports. This is SlapFIGHT. As you can see, this is a battle between two big men. Bulldozer from Lebanon, Missouri, 6'3", and the Bouncer from El Paso, Texas, 6'2". Each of these men is well over 320 pounds. Bulldozer, a blue-collar worker. He's a proud veteran of the United States Army. The Bouncer is a big supporter of the U.S. Army. He's a member of Team Okuma. Team Okuma. A former bouncer. He's watched the SlapFIGHT Championship for many years, and he told me last night he's very excited to be here. All right, the coin toss goes to Bulldozer, and he will slap first. All right, we're going to find out a lot about the Bouncer here. We're going to find out if he can take a big shot. Oh, actually, it looks like maybe the Bouncer won the coin toss. Pardon. Holy smokes. Okay, folks, don't blink. These are two big men. Here's the windup. Oh, no! Wow! It sounded like a shotgun went off here in the venue. But Bulldozer took the shot, and he ate it. Holy smokes. Now, that's going to be one knockdown for the Bouncer, and that's just because Bulldozer fell back into the arms of his corner men. Oh, no, and we've got a step-in warning for the Bouncer. That means that will not count as a knockdown at all. Instead, that will count as a wasted slap by the Bouncer. Now, if he steps again, he will lose a turn. And as you saw in the last contest, that can make the difference at SlapFIGHT Championship. Here we are in round two. Let's see what bottom of round one. Let's see what Bulldozer has to offer. You can see his hands shaking. This is his first slap. Oh, not a bad slap, but this is a big man. And it's going to take a little bit more than that to put him down. Folks, I'm joined here by legendary People's Champion of slap fighting, Frank the Tank. And Frank, what do you think about these big guys?
This is, I'm so glad that I dropped weight classes because I do not want to be involved with these two.
Now, confidentially. Oh, my goodness. Confidentially, I've heard who your pick is in this fight, and I know who mine is, and I may have switched mine after that first couple of exchanges. Oh, no, we've got another stepping violation. Bulldozer looks like he doesn't like it. The Bouncer's going to lose his turn here, which means the Bouncer will not have his round 3 slap. That means Bulldozer will have his round 2 and his round 3 slap, round 3 and round 4 slap in a row. And that's if Bulldozer returns to the barrel here. He looks like his bell is rung pretty good, and if he can't return, we may have a no contest here. In most other combat sports, an illegal strike that ended the fight would result in a winner for the downed opponent. However, at SlapFIGHT Championship, it's just a no contest, and that's simply because we don't want any of our fighters accentuating an injury or a big slap in order to just get the win. So we're going to listen in here for a few seconds and see if Bulldozer returns to the barrel. If he does, he's going to have 2 slaps against the bouncer. And Frank, that's never happened to you. As I recall, you've never ever had a penalty that you were violated and lost a turn. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're correct. No penalties.
19 fights, and I have to say, I've seen you have an extra slap a few times in competition. It feels good when you're swinging twice, doesn't it?
Sometimes it doesn't feel good because hitting that person an extra turn really hurts your hand, depending on the person.
Okay, I see. Okay, Bulldozer's back at the barrel here. He's going to go ahead and take his round 2, bottom of round 2 slap. Here we go. Oh my goodness. And the bouncer eats it. Holy smokes. These are big, big shots, folks. Wow. Okay, it looks like maybe lead official Kyron Bowen may have noticed a club here, and so there may be a warning for Bulldozer. Okay, he's giving him just a quick lesson in the rules here, Frank. You know, sometimes in the heat of battle, it's easy to throw a club and not really think about what you're doing till it's too late. Would you agree with that?
I would. Lining up is very important in this.
You know, I noticed these guys from El Paso, they're fighting in cowboy boots. Our former light heavyweight champion is away filming a reality series with Dana White. It's called Power Slap, and while he's away, we're going to have a vacant title. But these guys are all following his lead with these cowboy boots. Oh my gosh. Bulldozer's throwing some big, big meat here, but the bouncer is just eating these shots. Now that one staggered him just a bit, but he stepped back and then he stepped right back to the barrel. It's funny to see all these guys with cowboy boots on. This was something that never happened until about 3 years ago. Wolverine showed up with boots on, and ever since it's become a fad.
We do have a warning for clubbing.
Oh, we've got a clubbing warning here. Once again, these guys, these are their first appearances at the barrel. We had an extensive training camp with these guys. We went through the rules and regulations. Of course, Frank the Tank, he now works for SlapFIGHT Championship as a fighter liaison, and you work with these guys pretty heavily. They know the rules and they understand what their job here tonight is.
Yes, they do.
So this conversation they're having with Kyron Bowen is just a little bit of a reminder of what they learned during the training camp with Frank. I was there as well, and I saw these guys putting in some serious work, and a lot of these guys had some pretty sloppy technique until they worked with Frank. And I think maybe we're seeing probably a little bit of a sloppier fight than we want, but it's much better as a result of your help. Thanks. So Frank, so thank you. Okay, we got to make sure Bulldozer has his towel. The towel is there for a few reasons. Number one, because some of the big men can't reach their hands behind their back, and also keeps their hands behind their back. And a shot to the top of the forehead. That's definitely an illegal strike. That's going to be a club, and it looks like Bulldozer's been clubbed a few times here. So I would imagine that the bouncer's going to lose a turn. A club and a step. Okay, they're going to call the step because calling the step is a loss of a turn immediately. And now Bulldozer, if he can stay in this fight, he's going to likely win by decision.
Still, that was only a loss of 1 turn.
But when we first began SlapFIGHT Championship, the reason for the towel was because most of the men were super heavyweights in those days, and they couldn't reach. And Frank, I remember that you were one of them. I remember the first show we gave you the towel because you couldn't touch hands behind your back, and I think you came in at about 320 pounds. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. It's very hard to put your hands behind your back when you're that big.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that actually. But now, what do you weigh today, Frank?
I'm 228.
So slap fighting, you've lost 100 pounds training.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations, Frank.
Thank you.
You know, I'm noticing here, there's some conversation here with the boots of the bouncer, and I don't know what the conversation was. It could have just been a hey, I like your boots, but one of the officials just pulled him to the side and said something to him. I think it may be because inside of his boots, it's possible that he's got just a little bit of foot movement, and they want him to know that he's being watched here. Bouncer's a very, very tough guy. He's a big, big guy. We are here at the Lake of the Ozarks in Osage Beach, Missouri, and I looked out of my balcony this morning. The water is 30 degrees, and the bouncer was in the lake taking a 20-minute ice bath. This is a hardcore guy, but he's lost a lot of turns here due to penalty, and he is in trouble if Bulldozer can keep himself in the match. Now, what's Kyron saying to him now, Frank?
It looks like he's talking to him about hand placement.
Oh, we've got a big shot here. The bouncer stumbles. He's going to stagger back to the barrel. This is a scheduled 10-round fight, and here we are in round 4, and the bouncer shows his first sign of weakness.
We do have a clubbing violation.
Oh, no. Oh, Bulldozer looks upset. I don't know if you can hear them at home, but they're having a real serious conversation here. Bulldozer says, "I'm sorry, I'm not trying to club you." And the bouncer said something like, okay, I've just been handed a note, Frank, that Magny needs to talk to you in the dressing room. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Frank the Tank for just a few minutes, which is good because it's difficult for me to get a word in edgewise when Frank is on the mic, and it's quite irritating. But Frank means well. Okay, so going back up to the platform here, I'm noticing that there's a real serious conversation going on with the Bulldozer. It looks like he's going to stay in the match. I'm not really sure who's winning this fight. I'm kind of looking around the room here. I'm seeing a lot of the officials having conversations about the fact that both of these guys have lost their round. Oh, their round 5 turn, I see. So we're going to completely skip around here. What a crazy fight. I'm interested to see how this goes down. Great sportsmanship here. The bouncer sticking his towel in the back of his pants. Let's make sure we don't use that towel again. All right, all these penalties, sooner or later, they're just going to turn on Kyron and take him out. Here we go. Round 6. And that was definitely a club. And now I can see that the medical team is starting to surround the platform. And things are getting serious here. I can tell that the bouncer didn't mean to throw that club, but that was just as much of a sucker punch as I've seen in a while here. And I'm not so sure that the doc is going to let this continue. I can see he's right up on the platform.
I think most people know, but that was a clubbing violation.
Our announcer, Dallin Getling. Funny guy. I met Dallin Getling. He was doing an improv comedy show. I've watched him go undefeated in mixed martial arts. He's a kickboxer. He's a jiu-jitsu. I believe he's got a blue belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And he's so desensitized to combat sports that he's almost the entire peanut gallery at our shows himself. That's Dallin Getling. The fans are really concerned here with this fight. This is getting close to unsafe, and so we've got the doctor. He's talking to the regulators here, and it looks like these guys are under heavy scrutiny. But I have to be honest, I'm looking at Bulldozer now, and he seems to be cognizant. His eyes are clear, and it doesn't seem like he's got any intention of dropping out of the fight. Last night at the weigh-ins, I spent quite a bit of time talking to the bouncer, and I know he's just a really nice guy. He's a really friendly guy, and I can't imagine that this would be any sort of a strategy. I feel like he just has a little bit of inexperience. It's a little bit of a chink in his armor here. He's in a tough spot here. He's lost some turns. He's landed less strikes. He's got some violations. I feel like we're in a position here where Bulldozer may win the fight and then opt out of the tournament. Frank the Tank is back with his student Magny now in the back room. He was handed a note just a few minutes ago. He was told that Magny, although he won the fight, he may have chosen to opt out of the tournament. And I would agree with that as a strategy. I think it's better to fight another day. So that means Full Freak is likely to move to the finals and face the winner of this slugfest. All right, some little fan trying to stoke the crowd. All right, the crowd here at the Inn at Grand Glaze, they were a little reserved when we started, but this fight has woken them up. Here we go. Oh, that was a crazy bad slap. I hate seeing that from Bulldozer. He's had some decent power. Now we're getting a little deep in the fight. He's been fouled a few times. I hope that didn't affect his power, but that was probably the worst slap of the night so far. Giant man here. Nearly 700 pounds of man meat at the barrel during this fight. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. I think what we're seeing here is we've got a little bit of a decline in power here by Bulldozer. I keep noticing that he's touching his right shoulder, and there may be an issue with his shoulder here. One of the things that the casual fan doesn't know about the sport is the trauma to the hand and the trauma to the shoulder. They mostly think that the pain is the face, but it's not just the face. It's sometimes the hand that causes the tap out. 1, here we go. 2, round 8. 3. Oh man. I think if that was a clean slap, we might have a winner, but it sort of looked like a club, in which case...
We have a clubbing violation.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. This is going to be a tough one here for the bouncer. I believe the doctor would probably stop this fight if the bouncer hadn't just lost his last turn. The bouncer has lost his round 9 turn. So that means that Bulldozer will get his round 9 and round 10 slap in a row, and if the bouncer can withstand those 2 slaps, he will end the fight with one last opportunity, which I just don't know about this fight. I have to say, right now the doctor is over talking to the commissioner. I don't even see Bulldozer. I have no idea. Oh, there he is. Okay, he was over maybe talking to the medical team. I'm not quite sure. Can't see Bulldozer, so I know he's talking to his cornerman. And again, I have to say how impressed I am with the resiliency of Bulldozer. He doesn't look like he's even considering dropping out of this fight. I don't know that there are many men that would continue after taking so many bad, ugly shots from the bouncer. The bouncer is a massive guy. I mean, a big guy. He's going over some strategy with his corner man. Bulldozer's ready to step back to the barrel. This bout is about to resume. I can't believe it's going to go the distance. If I were Full Freak backstage watching this fight, I would think that it's great for him to see these guys beating up on each other. Full Freak seemed to be just fine when I spoke to him after the fight. And this may be a good thing for him that there's so much damage being done in this fight. I'm not sure what the holdup is. I think the doctor is having a conversation with the sanctioning representatives. Lead official Kyron Bowen talking to his people in the pit. The pit at our shows is full of fight fans from SlapFIGHT.live. You can go to SlapFIGHT.live and learn about our company and our roster of fighters. And every once in a while, you'll have an invite to a show in an undisclosed location. That's what's happening tonight. We've got about 30 or 40 fans in the pit, and they're having a great time. And Kyron Bowen's just kind of telling them to gather up and get ready for the end of this fight. All right, so Bulldozer checking his placement. Here we go. Oh. All right, so Bulldozer's landing clean shots. He doesn't have a lot of power, but he's landing clean shots, and if he can make it to the end of the match, I'm almost positive he would receive the judge's decision just based on penalties. So at this point, it's about making it to the end. Now, Bulldozer knows he might just have one final shot. I know that's on his mind. I've spoken to him enough to know that he is a strategist. Oh, not a great slap. I'm noticing that the right pinky and ring finger on Bulldozer is taped, and that's not typical at Slap Fight Championship. So I'm not so sure if there was a pre-existing injury, and maybe that is affecting how hard he's able to slap near the end of the match here. Now Frank the Tank is joining me again. He's coming back from the dressing room. Any news, Frank? Yeah. What's going to happen? All right, so Frank has just joined me. Let me know that Magny is dropped out of the tournament. Oh, that was a big flinch. The slap landed on the ear because Bulldozer flinched so much. I hope they don't penalize the bouncer for that. May not have heard me. Frank was just letting me know that Magny is back in the back, and after winning the first quarterfinal of the super heavyweight tournament, Magny has chosen not to continue. Full Freak will move to the final round of this tournament, where he will likely face Bulldozer if he can make it to the end of the match. Okay, another point for a strike landed. It wasn't a big, powerful strike, but it was a strike nonetheless. Okay, so maybe that's the end of the match there. I was under the impression that the bouncer had one final slap. I'm learning here that maybe he had won the coin toss. I don't know what's happening. We're going to listen in here and see what's happening. Okay, I guess I've just been informed that the bouncer did win the coin toss. He did go first, and for that reason, we are at the end of the match. And I don't think there's any question who the winner is going to be, but I see our announcer, Dallin Getling, heading to the platform, and so I'm sure he's about to announce the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had another 10-round slap fest. Let's hear from both fighters. We can only have one winner, and that winner tonight is Bulldozer! All right, I am here with the winner. Now, you took some shots. You took some hard shots, or actually violations as well. How you feeling?
Feel good.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Woo! Well, that's great, man, because you got another fight coming up.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I had some questions I wanted to ask you, but I'm gonna wait till after this next fight to ask you about them, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations, great fight, man. Go catch your breath and come back here. All right, Bulldozer!